Sky Squad, we are back in the building. And I just want y'all to know something real quick. This is my face right now. This is my face right now as I am trying to figure out and dissect the Morse code that Nene is trying to send. Okay. This is what my face, I'm trying to figure out the equation and I'm trying to understand what's happening, what she really wants us to know, where this is all going, and when she's going to finally open up and explain it all. Okay. What am I talking about? You may be asking. Well, we're going to get into that. But before we do so, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and make sure you guys join the texting community. The number is right here on the screen so I can send you a new message every time a new video drops. Now, with that being said, let's talk about Nene Leaks. Okay. So we had talked to you guys about how on her Instagram, I should say on her Twitter page, her bio reads blacklisted for telling the truth and not wanting to be abused anymore. And then she puts receipts. Okay, so that's in the bio of the Twitter page, right? We talked about that before, but now she's tweeted out, and I got this from the Neighborhood Talk as the source originally, but she had recently just tweeted out, they always blacklist you when you tell the truth. So is her telling the truth that she everything that she was talking about with Bravo last year, or is this something new? Okay, has something new occurred? Because it seems like right now there's more of a there's definitely more action from Nene in terms of posting about being blacklisted. And again, we know that she was doing the show allegedly with the College Hill reboot. We had seen her on The Real. Now, unfortunately, The Real has been canceled. But I felt like we were seeing Nene getting back out there. And surely she's outside of the window of usually for a lot of reality TV shows, there's sometimes a clause in your contract where you can't do another reality TV style show for at least, 18 months. Some people have that in their contract. Some people don't have that in their contract. So it just depends on how their contract was negotiated. And we don't know the terms or the details of Nene's. But it looks as though she's now able to get back out there and do her thing, at least from what we have seen. So then she retweeted this 2 hours ago where it says, everything you have stated has come to pass. This is a Twitter user who is responding to her. And then she retweeted this. She says, everything you have stated has come to pass. Now they are trying to save face by having certain talent publicly refute your claims. And they are given bones to stay quiet. Team Nene, you will always be the queen of reality TV. Now, I could definitely say, one thing is definitely for certain. Nene Leaks is definitely probably one of the reigning queens of reality television. Atlanta would not be what it was, or Housewives in general probably would not be what it is without Nene. And I definitely believe, and I wish, and I don't know what happened behind the scenes with her and Bravo, but I wish to God that they could have ironed it out. I believe that every show needs an OG and they need a stable OG. And what I mean by a stable OG is someone who has been there from the beginning and has never left, i.e., and I also this may be true and it may not be true. I'm not necessarily sure. We'll find out when Atlanta comes back this season, because Atlanta had previously, during at least the year of the pandemic, been the highest rated Housewives show until Beverly Hills came back around. All right. But the reason why I feel like the ratings are so good for Jersey and for Beverly Hills right now is because I feel like, Beverly Hills coming back up, I feel like it's because they still have that one long-standing OG in the building. And while some people may count Kandi as an OG, she wasn't there from the actual beginning. And I feel like the show needs someone who was there from the beginning. Initially, Nene and Sheree made for a good, Alexis Carrington and Dominique Devereaux style beef. You know what I'm saying? You had initially Kyle Richards and kind of Lisa Vanderpump with this very interesting enemy slash frenemy ship or whatever. And with at least Jersey and with Kyle still being on the show, and with Teresa still being on the show as the Queen Bee, which I'll talk about that in a minute. But I just feel like the shows that do the best are the ones that have an original OG on there for the longest period of time. I do. And that's no slight to anybody else because it is a team effort. But there's a nostalgia factor there that this person has been there from the beginning and the fans have watched them go through their evolution. So I wish they could figure this out because it would be nice to see Nene back on our television screens again, on or in some type of housewives capacity, whether that be one of those girls trips or something like that. But Nene Leaks, whatever you're trying to tell us, I wish that you would just um really break it all down, what's happening behind the scenes right now, so we can really understand what's going on. Now, I want to move to the next story. We're going to be talking a lot about, Love and Marriage Huntsville because the show is back on, and then soon we'll be talking about Love and Marriage DC. And from what I'm hearing, a trailer is forthcoming quite soon. Okay. So, with regards to that, it looks like Latisha and Marceau are doing some interviews, which is good for them because I do feel like they need to show more face. I know that they had complained about the social media special about Latisha not getting enough mentions about some of her accomplishments. And my statement to that was, we need you guys out here promoting more, okay? Because you just have to do that. Even if you have the PR machine of the network behind you, it's always good to have your own PR to also help secure interviews outside of what the network may be doing. And from what I understand, at least from my experience, the network was not opposed to me having my own PR working in tandem with them. Okay. So this is coming from Urban Bell Mag, and they indicate that during an interview with Bossip, Latisha said, "I trust my husband at the end of the day. So that's all I have to go by. I'm not going to go by somebody saying something that I know don't like me." Now, this is an indication that she seems to think that the real issue is that Melody wants her marriage to fail, according to Urban Bell Mag. Now, she says, or somebody wants to see my marriage fail. This is Latisha continuing to speak. She says, "I can't be like, oh, girl, I believe you if I know you're going to see, if you want to see my marriage fail. Let me listen to what you're saying. No, I'm not going to do that." Now, that is naive. That is stupid. And she also says, "But then after I started to process everything and looking, I was like, nah, you're doing this. You're purposely trying to hurt my marriage." She's saying this about Melody. So the question is, do you guys feel as though Melody is purposely trying to hurt Latisha's marriage? I personally don't really get that from Melody at this point in time. I know that Latisha and Melody had their issues, especially in previous seasons, and then it was brought out at the reunion again after last season they were doing well. And when I talked to Melody, she did indicate that she thought that they were moving in a different direction until the reunion, when Latisha basically flat out said, "You tried to destroy my marriage," bringing up and opening up old wounds that Melody had thought were healed. Now, as we're into this season and Melody is not really, messing with Latisha like that, to hear Latisha say this, that Melody is trying to hurt her marriage, was this something from the scene that maybe happened that she saw with, Kiki and the slumber party? Where do you guys feel like this is coming from with Latisha? And do you agree with Latisha, or do you think that Latisha is projecting? I really honestly think that the person who does the most damage to Latisha and Marceau's marriage, at least from an outsider's perspective, is usually the joking and cavalier manner with which Marceau treats the issues that are brought up about their marriage. That's what I think does the most damage. But honestly, I can only speak on the perception of their marriage. I cannot speak on the reality of their marriage because at the end of the day, when they go home at night and they finish filming, these people could be absolutely 110% fine. It is just that as we're speaking about the perception of what we see on the show and what we see on social media, that is specifically what I'm speaking of, you know. And I do agree to some degree. I do somewhat agree with something that Marcel said. People can't really speak on, you know, someone else's marriage unless you really are in it. But what I can do and what we can all do is react to what we see on the show. Okay. And so that is what we're reacting to right now. Let me know what you guys think about this whole situation in the comment section down below. And with that being said, you know, tonight is going to be the Real Housewives of New Jersey, which I will be back to recapping. But I mean, tonight we're going to get the blowout between Margaret and Teresa. And I am all the way here for these types of carrying on. Listen, when Teresa gets activated, I think it's great. And I know a lot of people think that I dislike Teresa, and this is coming to us courtesy of the Real Housewives franchise page on IG. But I don't dislike Teresa. I dislike that I feel like a lot of the ladies are afraid of her. And what I love about Margaret is I don't think that Margaret is afraid of Teresa at all. Okay. And it's given me real Caroline Manzo vibes where because I felt like Carolyn Manzo and maybe even Jacqueline Larita were probably the two people that could really go toe to toe with Teresa. And actually, maybe Danielle Staub because Danielle did a bang up job of going at it with Teresa too. Except when Teresa had her running through that country club. But that's a whole nother story for a different day. Let me know if you guys will be watching tonight's episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey because I'm super excited to recap it tomorrow. All right, that's all the news that we have for you guys right now. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button, and I will catch you in the next